The little girl is your power incarnate. But if you recall, Azhdaha, this is not how we intended for events to transpire.
Waste not your words! Your life is mine! The enraged earth will not absolve you!
Freeze to the core!
Solidify! Rise!
Shifting sand!
Order guide you!
Not the mountain's permanence!
Rain cutter!
Fisher!
Beg for mercy!
There is no atonement for 1,000-year pain!
Solidify!
No, my sword! Orders given. Orders received. Rise.
Stabilize!
Crush! Shudder!
The enraged earth will not absolve you!
Solidify!
More speed! Beg for mercy!
Shifting sands know not
Gather.
the mountain's permanence.
Crush! Rain outlines your fate. Life goes on. Nice and spike!
This is order!
Is once not enough? You would forsake me again?
If that is what you choose to believe, so be it. He who bears the weight of memory is destined to shoulder the burden of truth, as it ought to be. Solidify!
Wheel of Life. Boba, get them! Beg for mercy. Crush! I condemn you! Flood of frost! Beg for mercy.
Fisher!
Crush! Shudder!
The enraged earth will not absolve
Beg
you!
for mercy! No, my sword!
Gather!
Nice and spicy! Rise. Crush!
Stabilize!
Crumble!
Shudder!
Morax! You think you can destroy me?
Beg for mercy.
Solidify! I will have order. Gather. Stabilize!
Detestable!
Shudder! Opening box of Adepti
The
Drix.
enraged earth will not absolve you!
Quake!
Crush! Beg for mercy.
Come,
Witness the power of Gawa.
experience an eon of suffering!
Solidify!
Rack and ruin.
Shifting
More
sands,
speed.
no
Freeze
not
to the core.
mountain's permanence.
Shudder. Beg for mercy.
There is no
Order
atonement
guide you.
for 1,000 years. Morax, 1,000 years after you sealed me underground, you return for the second time.
You should call it by its name, Azhdaha.
Fate? Fate? So here lies the wisdom of the gods. Destroy all deemed redundant. Enlist tyrants to ravage the wilderness.
No. You have forgotten.
That voice!
Azhdaha.
Huh? Kunjun?
Morax. It's been a while.
You're...
Azhdaha. The very same.
During the battle, you imbued us with your power.
Yes, it was all I could manage. Forgive me for concealing the truth, traveler. There were things that only became clear. Allow me to elaborate. I am not Azhdaha. Heaven and earth, yin and yang, opposing forces. You can consider the existence of me and the Azhdaha you see there.
So there are two Azhdahas?
No! It can't be! That's impossible!
When the seal loosened, your power manifested in this world as a child. With this new identity, that's when it occurred to you. The loosening of the seal constituted an opportunity to strike back.
The audacity! Are you insane? If you truly are a part of me, how is it you find yourself standing on the side of the betrayer?
I was another power awakened with the loosening of the seal. Too weak to reincarnate, but I was barely conscious. I couldn't remember who I was. Only the past would elicit a reaction.
I had sensed that something was amiss when you mentioned Dragonfall. Had your power been but a little...
Don't blame yourself. I have changed beyond all recognition. It's been so long. A secret beyond all comprehension of youthful humanity. And...
There would be no harm in it. The decision...
You haven't changed. Then allow me. Azhdaha was once a friend and ally of the Geo-Archon Morax. With a lifespan far exceeding that of mankind, the memories of rocks do not last long. Those memories that survive are rooted in powerful emotion. But erosion ground Azhdaha's consciousness into oblivion. Slowly, he forgot the face of his old Azhdaha, now incomplete, became irascible.
What would you expect? It was humanity that attacked the ley lines that sustained...
This much is true, which is why you attacked the chasm, why you waged war against Morax. In the beginning, in order to open up new territory and increase production, the citizens of Liyue came to the mountains. Erosion made us even more savage. No matter how we struggled, Morax shared with us some of his power to prevent further erosion. But it was futile. Everything returns to dust, and so we became you. And from your will, I am your final contract. Witness the promise between Azhdaha and Morax.
No! No!
I am the remnants of Azhdaha's benevolence, the echo of a contract set in stone.
No, no! It is I, Azhdaha, forged of elemental crystal, bearer of the weight and memories of the earth, older than the mountains and the oceans that decides.
Morax is not an insect.
A lord over insects is nothing but an insect in turn.
You forgot yourself. Nobody held Morax in higher regard than you or I. That which you have forgotten, I hold here in my heart. If you are the memory, all powers under heaven rise and fall of land and sea.
A star appears within the wild. A sun ascends as bright as jade. Strange. What is this feeling? And all this...
You are spent, and I will soon disappear. Before I do, in the wilderness, snow falls on a spring day. In an instant...
No! That isn't true! I don't accept this as fate!
Perhaps it isn't, but it remains an inevitable misfortune.
More axe!
The little girl vanished!
Are you satisfied, Azhdaha?
I had to make amends. Satisfaction had no part in it. So, Morax, you call yourself zhongli?
I do.
Well, I'm afraid old habits die hard. To me, you're Morax.
As you please.
I never did forget your gift of sight.
I hardly lifted a finger. Think nothing of it.
And yet, you could see. You wouldn't know the yearning of a blind dragon, searching for the sun. A pair of eyes, from Morax to Azhdaha.
Your power is nearly spent.
Perceptive as always, my friend.
Shall we get going, you and I?
Surely the pressing matter is still that of the miners trapped outside the seal.
Indeed. Hence the need to get going.
Straight down to business as always. Let's go.
In our last tale, Rex Lapis was walking alone in the mountains. He heard a remote voice, unlike any other, coming from a crack in the earth.
Most of the ancient geo-life forms that live below Liyue are blind, having not seen the sunlight for an age.
The voice was sometimes sad and song-like. Other times it was loud and thunderous. The Lord of Geo searched here and there before finally unearthing a strange stone from the bedrock.
That's how Azhdaha was. I answered his wish and took him above ground.
The Lord of Geo took pity on the rock spirit and carved it into a magnificent work of craftsmanship, a vivid representation of a dragon.
I bestowed him with a pair of eyes to see the world and came to an agreement with him.
With his fingers, he made 2 eyes. Quicker than words could tell, lightning flashed and thunder roared, and a living, breathing dragon soared into the clouds.
I agreed to let him live among the people above ground, but if the day ever came when he brought ruin to order, he would once again be sealed in the dark.
The dragon accompanied the Lord of Geo, fighting campaigns alongside him in the 4 corners of the world. We have a saying to eulogize these events. The crash of a spear brought billowing dust. The mountains and waters made way at the sound. The sight of a dragon bestowed with a touch the promise of rainwater blessing the ground.
A 1,000 years ago, Azhdaha attacked the chasm. I tried to obstruct him, fighting him tooth and nail down the length and breadth of the mine. Finally, I brought him down and sealed him. During that battle, Dragonfall was born. Azhdaha could sense the stone. Subconsciously, he wanted to use it to find, despite being the victor. I could not claim to be stronger than he. And in his heart, he still retained an ounce of goodwill toward. He was willing to be sealed away. But as the erosion set in, he forgot. Even I cannot avoid it. But there is something I understand better than most. When the door opens, it is time to leave. The greater the power, the greater the danger erosion may bring about. The millennia may come and go, but even a stone may tire. Personally sealing away an old friend. People abandon and surrender the things they love to pursue the right path. Perhaps this is the erosion imposed on me by the natural, that I was a god of mankind. My identity may change, but my eyes will bear witness.
You still care a lot about Liyue.
Call it part of my duty. I must thank you both.
No worries.
Oh? About what?
Oh yeah, Paimon nearly forgot. So, not long ago, we met a guy called Dane. He told us about Conria and the punishment of the gods. That's when we realized that those events were connected to the person we're searching for. Zhongli, you're a god.
I cannot say.
Why? You can't even give us a thread of information?
I understand. But I must apologize. This is my contract.
You mean another past grievance? Like the incident with Azhdaha?
It was signed before it all began. I have always honored the contract. And kept my silence.
How can you be like that?
You two are friends to me. I can assure it brings me no pleasure to disappoint you. But as the god of contracts,
Would you be ready to find out?
it appears your understanding of this world continues to... There are many events of ages past. They have been eroded by time. Forgotten by... But you are capable of finding them and bringing them into the light. Those who come to witness will witness. Though, if you take the same road as that person, there may be more difficulties ahead. But as long as you firmly believe that you are on the right path, this tablet was erected by Mountain Shaper. It names Azhdaha as a terrible dragon, and serves as a... It's a shame. There is a fine line between good and evil. If the good...
Shudder!